Want to flip the script? Lose interest. Let me tell you something that you might need to hear. Sometimes the best way to get a woman's full attention, shock you, is to stop giving her yours. I know, sounds backwards, right? But that's the exact thing that flips a woman's emotional switch. The moment she senses that you're no longer chasing, no longer available, or no longer emotionally invested, it triggers something powerful inside her. It's not because we're evil or manipulative. It's psychology, reverse psychology, to be specific. When a woman feels like she has you wrapped around her finger, she relaxes. She tests. She pulls back. She plays the game. But when she suddenly senses that you're done playing, it creates a shift. Now she's the one watching you. She's the one wondering. Wait, why isn't he trying anymore? Who's got his attention now? Did I mess this up? And that's when everything changes. But here's the catch. This only works when it's real. You can't fake disinterest. Women feel energy. If you're pretending to be cool but secretly still obsessing, she'll know. But if you've truly pulled your focus back, for your own peace, your own growth, your own self-worth, that energy shift, oh, she'll feel it. And she'll respond. That's what this video is about. We're not talking about playing games. We're talking about owning your power as a man and understanding how women react when that power isn't aimed at them anymore. So if a woman's ever pulled away from you, or if you've ever wondered what really happens when you stop chasing, stay with me. I'm about to pull back the curtain and show you the raw, honest truth. Let's dive into it. 1. She feels it before you say a word. Here's something a lot of men don't realize. A woman can feel it the moment your energy shifts. Not because she's psychic, not because she's analyzing every move. It's deeper than that. It's instinct, intuition. You don't even have to say, I'm done, or I'm moving on. You don't have to block her, delete her, or make some grand exit. All you have to do is mentally let go. Let me paint the picture. You used to text her good morning. You checked in, you cared. Your energy was always warm, present, available. She knew you were there. Then, slowly, that energy starts fading. You stop responding right away. You're not reaching out as much. You're not engaging on her posts. You're not asking how her day went. But more than any action, she feels the absence of your focus. And that's when her radar lights up. A woman might not say anything at first. She might act unbothered. She might even keep posting, flirting, being playful. But behind that confidence, she's noticing everything. Why hasn't he replied? He used to always say something when I posted that. Is he seeing someone else? That emotional shift stirs something in her that's hard to ignore, because she used to feel secure. And now she doesn't. Let me be honest with you as a woman. When we feel like we're losing a man's attention, especially one we thought we had, it doesn't just bruise our ego. It shakes our foundation. It's not about control. It's about value. If you were once invested and now you're pulling away, we don't just think he's over it. We wonder why you're over it. Did I do something wrong? Was I not enough? What's changed in him? And that's when the second guessing kicks in. That's when she starts watching your stories, liking your photos again, texting random things just to see if you'll bite. Because she feels your shift, even before you say a word. So here's what you need to understand. You don't have to announce anything. You don't have to play games. If your focus is genuinely moving elsewhere, if your energy is no longer revolving around her, she will feel it. Instinctively, emotionally, quickly, and depending on how much she valued your presence, she may come back. Not because you chased her, but because you stopped. 2. Why your silence hits her. Harder than any text. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Silence speaks louder to a woman than any clever comeback, angry text, or emotional speech you could ever give her. And it's not because she wants drama or attention. It's because silence from a man she once had access to forces her to face a truth she didn't prepare for. When a woman senses that you've emotionally withdrawn, when you're no longer reacting, explaining, or chasing, it stings in a very specific way. It's not about punishment, it's about presence. And once that presence is gone, she suddenly realizes just how much space you used to occupy in her world. Women are emotional creatures. We live in the details, the tone in your voice, the timing of your replies, the way you looked at us without saying a word. So when all that vanishes, when your energy goes silent, it feels like a wall has gone up that we don't know how to break through anymore. And here's the deeper truth. A man's silence often carries more weight than his words because it tells us he no longer needs validation from us. He's not trying to win us back. He's not trying to prove a point. He's just done. That scares us more than anger ever could. See, when a man is angry or reactive, we still feel like we have influence. We still feel like he cares, even if it's in a toxic way. But when he's quiet, when he just lets go and moves on with no resistance, that's when a woman starts to spiral. She replays everything. She checks your status, watches your stories, tries to decode what your silence means. Because now it's not about fighting, it's about figuring out where she lost you. And here's something men need to understand. Most women are used to being chased after they leave. Even if they pulled away first, they still expect you to explain yourself. They expect you to seek closure. They expect to stay on your mind. But when you go quiet, really quiet, not in a manipulative way, but in a peaceful, detached, I'm good either way kind of way, it disrupts her emotional pattern. Suddenly, she's the one wondering if she miscalculated. If maybe you weren't as attached as she thought. If maybe she made a mistake walking away. That's why silence is so powerful. Not because it's cold or dismissive, but because it's controlled. It's masculine. It's centered. And that calm, non-reactive energy. It says, I know my value, and I don't need to chase you to prove it. So if a woman has left and you're tempted to text her some long emotional message, pause. Your silence might already be saying everything she needs to hear. 3. What she's secretly hoping you'll do when she comes back. All right, let's get honest, brutally honest, about something most women will never say out loud. If she left you and now she's circling back, she's not just coming back for the sake of it. She's testing the waters. She wants to see what version of you is still available. Because here's the truth. When a woman walks away and then decides to come back, she's usually hoping for one of two things. Either you stayed the same and are still emotionally open to her, or you've leveled up and she now has to re-earn her spot. Let me break that down for you. Some women, whether they realize it or not, come back because they expect you to still be available. They think you're waiting. They assume your feelings haven't changed. And when they show back up, maybe with a casual, hey stranger, or pretending like nothing happened, they're watching your reaction like a hawk. If you instantly melt, chase, or act relieved that she came back, it confirms to her that she still has power over you. It might feel like things are going back to normal, but deep down, that same imbalance that made her leave is still there. Now the other possibility? She's hoping you're different. She's hoping that while she was gone, you got stronger, colder, more grounded. Not to punish her, not to play games, but to show that you're not that emotionally dependent version of yourself anymore. And this is the twist. When she feels like she can't just slide back in like nothing happened, it reignites attraction. Why? Because women are drawn to strength, to emotional independence, to men who have options, not desperation. So if she left and now she's texting again, calling, flirting, asking about your life, don't rush in like a puppy who finally saw his owner again. Don't overshare. Don't assume anything is back. Because from her perspective, this is a moment of assessment. She's checking your vibe. She wants to know, do you still want her the same way? Are you still emotionally reactive? Or have you grown into a man she has to now work to impress? And trust me, when a woman realizes that getting you back isn't as easy as walking in with a cute smile and a missed you text, that's when she really starts investing again. That's when her ego takes a step back and her real feelings step forward. So don't be quick to give her exactly what she wants, which is emotional certainty. Let her feel the contrast. Let her notice the difference between who you were before and who you are now. Because when a woman comes back, she's not just seeing if you still want her. She's trying to figure out if she's still enough for the man you've become. 4. Why acting unbothered isn't the same as actually letting go. Let's be real for a second. There's a big difference between pretending not to care and actually being at peace with letting her go. And as women, we can feel the difference immediately. You might think you're being stoic. You're not texting. You're giving space. You're saying the right things like, it's all good, I've moved on. But if underneath all that, you're still emotionally tied to her, if your heart is racing every time she views your story or sends a hey, we feel it. And it makes everything you're trying to project look like a performance. Because true detachment, that's not loud. It's not strategic. It's not about waiting to see if she notices you've gone cold. It's calm. It's quiet. It's indifference without resentment. And that's the energy that actually makes a woman stop and think. You see, women aren't just reacting to what you say or do. We're tuned into your emotional presence. When a man says, I'm over it, but his energy is still hoping, still hurting, still trying to provoke a reaction, we know. Even if we don't call it out, we know. But when a man has really let go, when he's focused on himself, genuinely happy without us, and not playing a role to try to win us back, that's when we feel the shift. That's when it starts to mess with our heads a little. Because suddenly, we don't feel that emotional leash we used to tug on. There's no guaranteed response, no invisible access. And that's when the attraction can spark again. Not because you're being manipulative, but because you're centered. You've reclaimed your energy. That's what true stoicism is about. It's not about silence with hidden intentions. It's not about withholding communication to punish or control. It's about emotional clarity. You know what you want, and you're not shaken by someone else's presence or absence. So if you're acting unbothered, but secretly still checking her page, still thinking about what to post so she sees it, still hoping she'll reach out, that's not stoicism. That's emotional theater. Real peace doesn't need an audience. It doesn't seek validation. It just is. And ironically, that's what pulls us in. Because when a man no longer needs our attention to feel good about himself, it makes us see him in a different light. So stop trying to look detached. Be detached. Not cold, not cruel. Just rooted in the fact that you're not dependent on her anymore. That quiet strength? It's rare. And trust me, it speaks louder than any tactic ever could. 5. What happens emotionally when you stop chasing her? Here's something most men don't realize. When you stop chasing a woman, it doesn't just change the surface dynamic. It stirs something deep inside her emotionally. And no, it's not just about missing the attention. It's more layered than that. Let me walk you through how it really plays out from our side. At first, when you're chasing, pursuing, checking in, making efforts, we feel in control. Even if we're unsure about how we feel toward you, the fact that you are actively showing desire gives us a certain power. It feeds something inside us, not necessarily ego, but emotional certainty. We know where we stand in your world, but the moment that chase stops, when you suddenly become still, we feel the shift instantly. Not later, not days later. Right away, it's like emotional silence, not just the kind where you stop texting, but the kind where we can't feel you anymore. And that hits hard. You might think we're out there, carefree, loving the space, but that's rarely the full truth. Inside, we start running questions through our minds. Wait, is he really done? Did I push him too far? Why doesn't he care anymore? Has he moved on to someone else? And here's the twist. Even if we weren't sure how much we wanted you before, the silence forces us to feel something we didn't expect. The absence of emotional security. That's where the emotional reversal begins. We start reflecting, not because you begged us to, but because you didn't. We start wondering what you're thinking, not because you're saying anything, but because you're not. Your calmness becomes confusing. And when we don't feel that emotional grip we once had, it creates a vacuum. And that vacuum pulls us in. You're not chasing anymore. And now we're doing the emotional work. We're the ones overthinking. We're the ones checking your story, wondering why you're not watching ours. We're sensing your detachment and we start reacting, sometimes subtly, sometimes impulsively. You don't have to post anything cryptic. You don't have to play games. Your absence, your real grounded absence, does the work. And if we really valued you deep down, that's when the regret kicks in. That's when we start imagining you with someone else. That's when we feel the loss we didn't want to admit before. But here's the key. It only works when it's real. If you stop chasing as a way to manipulate, women can smell that. But when you stop because you've genuinely shifted inward, you've reclaimed your focus, and you're no longer emotionally dependent, that's when the power flips naturally. So when you stop chasing, a woman isn't just reacting to your silence, she's reacting to her own emotional uncertainty. She starts asking herself the same questions you used to ask. And that is how the dynamic truly changes. 6. Why female interest isn't always genuine, and how to tell. Let's get brutally honest. Not every time a woman reaches back out after you've pulled away means she genuinely wants you. Sometimes it just means she misses the feeling of being wanted. I know that stings, but if no one else will tell you the truth, I will. See, when a woman realizes you've stopped chasing her, it shakes her sense of control. Suddenly, she can't rely on your validation. She can't count on that emotional safety net anymore. So she may come back, but it's not always because she sees your value now. Sometimes it's because she's uncomfortable with the silence. Here's what that looks like. She'll send a random, "Hey stranger," text. She might reply to your story with a laughing emoji or something harmless. She might even say she misses you, but pay attention to what follows. If there's no effort beyond that surface level reach out, no questions about you, no attempt to really re-engage, she's not back for real. She just wants to know she still has a piece of you. That's the difference between genuine interest and emotional fishing. Genuine interest feels clear. She shows up consistently. She's open, curious, vulnerable. There's a softness to it, not just playful teasing or small talk. And importantly, she respects the fact that you've stepped back. She's not just trying to re-hook you so she can retreat again, but emotional fishing. That's a power move. She wants to feel back in control, to know she could still have you if she wanted. It's like scratching an itch, not building a connection. Here's the hard part. A lot of men fall for that first breadcrumb. They respond too quickly. They re-engage emotionally before she's earned that access again. And boom, she's back in the driver's seat, and you're back where you started, chasing someone who was never really in. If you want to know if her interest is genuine, watch what happens after you don't give her an immediate emotional reward. Does she try again, deeper this time? Does she ask how you are? Does she acknowledge any part of what happened between you? Or does she vanish the second you don't give her the ego boost? The truth is, women know exactly what they're doing when they test the waters like this. But the woman who truly wants to reconnect won't be cryptic or casual about it. She'll come with clarity, not confusion. She'll show consistency, not crumbs. So don't just react to her return. Observe it. What's her energy like? Is she here for you, or just here to feel desired again? Learn to tell the difference, and you won't get pulled back into old cycles, because a woman's attention isn't always attraction, and her curiosity isn't always commitment. 7. Stop being her emotional backup plan. Be the man she has to rise for. Let me talk to you straight. Too many good men are stuck playing the role of emotional standby. You're not her boyfriend. You're not her ex. You're not even really her friend. You're just there. On call. Emotionally available. Reacting whenever she needs a little boost. That stops today, because the second a woman realizes you've lost interest, truly lost interest, is the second she has to decide, rise to meet your standard, or lose access to you forever. And trust me, that shift in energy is powerful. But here's the problem. Most men don't stay in that power. They fold too quickly. They confuse her sudden attention with genuine intention. And they go from being the man who had standards right back to the guy sitting in her emotional waiting room. Let me be very clear here. A woman will use your emotional presence as a cushion, not because she's evil, but because it's comfortable. Because she knows you care. She knows you'll listen. She knows you're still there. But that doesn't make her respect you. It doesn't make her want you. It makes you convenient. If she left you, distanced herself, or started treating you like an option, and now she's circling back only after you've gone silent, don't get flattered. Get focused. You've got one job now. Hold the line. Make her earn her way back into your space. And don't do it to punish her. Do it to protect yourself. Because here's the truth. A lot of women won't say out loud. We don't value what's always available. We value what challenges us to be better. And if she's serious about you, she'll rise. She'll reflect. She'll reach out with more than breadcrumbs. She'll apologize, or at least take accountability. She'll ask how you feel, not just throw out a miss you to see if you'll bite. But if you give her emotional access without seeing that effort first, you just confirmed it. You're still waiting. You're still hoping. You're still hers, even if she's not yours. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to play games, but you do need to make it clear. If she wants to be in your life again, she has to come correct. No confusion, no half-hearted attention, no just checking in, because you're not her therapist, you're not her plan B, and you're not the guy who waits around hoping she might choose you later. You're the man who knows his value, the man who walks with clarity, the man who only gives energy where it's matched. And once a woman sees that version of you, the game changes fast. Here's something most women will never say out loud, but I will. The moment a man genuinely loses interest is the moment a woman starts paying attention. Not fake indifference, not pretending, not playing games. I'm talking about when a man is truly done chasing, done proving, done needing anything from her. That's when the shift happens. That's when we feel it. That's when we go from assuming you'll always be there to realizing we might have just lost something rare. And that's exactly why this message matters. Because I don't want you chasing scraps of affection. I don't want you falling for breadcrumbs or decoding mixed signals. I want you standing in your power, clear, grounded, and unshakable. You don't need to convince any woman of your worth. You just need to stop handing it out to people who haven't earned it. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a woman come back after you finally let go? Did she show up for real? Or was it just to test the waters again? Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'll be reading and responding because your growth matters. Your experience matters. And I respect every man out there doing the inner work. Just remember this. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, she doesn't get to decide what happens next. You do. And that choice, that's where your real power lives. If you're ready for more conversations like this, make sure you're following. We're not sugarcoating anything here. We're telling the truth, woman to man. Until next time.